He's a tugboat and a friendly tugboat too. A friendly tugboat too. Oh, Theodore likes to do the things that friendly tugboats do.
Hello. I was working late in my office, so I decided to sleep here tonight. The only problem is, I'm not sleepy. Oh. I should put away my maps. Oh, that's much neater. Maybe I should turn up the light in my fish tank. Yep, good. Oh. Now what? I still can't fall asleep. But this is the perfect chance to tell you about what happened today in the big harbor. Foduck met the shy ship.
One morning, Theodore was bringing Emma Sophia, the cargo ship, into the harbor. They heard 3 sharp whistle blasts. Emma Sophia saw a tugboat in a bright red hat steaming towards her with a very serious look on his face.
All secure here?
He called, inspecting the ship.
Engine in order? Hatches battened down?
Foduck's radar was spinning and whirring, and his underwater sonar machine made loud pinging and pointing sounds as he checked out the ship.
Barge traffic ahead,
He said finally.
Proceed with caution.
Who was that? Said Emma Sophia nervously. Foduck, answered Theodore. He's our safety tug. Is he real? Said Emma Sophia. Mostly, said Theodore. That's just his way of saying hello. When Foduck finished his patrol, he blew his loudest whistle, just like he always did, and shouted,
All safe!
The dispatcher was waiting for Foduck when he returned to the Great Ocean dock.
Foduck,
He said,
don't forget, it is your turn to be on the night shift tonight. Oh, well, perhaps I should have a nap now,
said Foduck.
Got to be sharp for the night shift.
That's a good idea, the dispatcher told him. As soon as the harbor was dark and the other tugs were asleep, Foduck woke up to start the night shift. He would be the tug on duty until morning. Foduck began his harbor safety patrol, just like he always did before he started work. First, he turned on all his special equipment. The pinging and the pointing and the whirring and the whistling woke the other tugs.
All systems operational.
He smiled. Foduck, grumbled George. Go somewhere else and do that. Foduck was floating along when he saw a dark shape lurking near the shore.
Identify yourself,
He shouted,
friend or foe.
Cable ship, actually.
replied Digby dizzily.
What are you doing out here?
Said Foduck.
Sleeping.
Said Digby,
That is, I was sleeping.
Sleeping.
repeated Foduck.
Very good. Proceed with sleeping.
But just as soon as you stop shining that fibberty-gibberty spotlight of yours in my eyes.
Fumed Digby,
Oh, yes. Just doing my job, sir.
said Foduck. A little later, something else caught Foduck's eye. Guy's Bro, the garbage barge, looked dirty. He said to himself. A clean harbor is a safe harbor. So Foduck decided to give the garbage barge a good spray with his hose.
I'm melting!
Howled the grumpy barge. You see, Guy's Bro just hates to be clean.
No need for panic,
Said Foduck.
just doing my job.
His patrol was over, and now it was time for him to blow his whistle, like he always did.
All safe!
He shouted.
Pipe down,
hollered Benjamin. Oh, be quiet, called Lily the lighthouse. Go back to your dock, Foduck, called Rebecca. I wonder why everyone is so grumpy at night, Foduck said quietly. I'm just doing my job. Foduck returned to his dock.
Theodore? Theodore, are you asleep?
He called. Theodore woke up with a start. What is it? He stammered. Fire? A runaway oil rig? A rocket ship crash?
Oh, it's nothing,
Said Foduck.
That's the whole problem.
Theodore looked puzzled. So Foduck explained.
I have the most modern safety equipment in the harbor, and I can't even do my job. Everyone's upset at me all of a sudden.
But Foduck, Theodore said softly, knowing you're there just makes us all feel safer.
Well, it doesn't feel safe to me when I'm not doing anything.
Frowned Foduck. Theodore watched Foduck float sadly back out into the harbor. There didn't seem to be anything he could do to make his friend feel better. Foduck drifted along for a moment, but suddenly the water began to bubble.
Action stations! He shouted, turning on his radar and his sonar and his searchlight one after the other. Oh, it's only you, Northumberland submarine, he said.
Foduck turned off his radar, and his sonar, and his searchlight.
There's a ship outside the harbor who's been there for 2 nights now, said Northumberland. She won't come in. Won't come in?
Repeated Foduck, scanning towards the ocean.
Oh, I've been talking and talking to her, explained Northumberland, and I think the reason she won't come in is that she's shy. She doesn't know anybody here.
Foduck's engine skipped a beat. At last, something to do.
I'll go right out there and bring her in, he cried.
Once again, Foduck turned on his radar and his sonar and his searchlight, ready for action. Negative, said the sub. Your job is to get the harbor calm and quiet so she won't be afraid, and then attempt to bring her into dock.
Oh,
said Foduck, quietly turning his radar and his sonar and his searchlight off again. Can I count on you? Said Northumberland.
I'm the tug for the job, shouted Foduck, blasting his whistle.
Remember, calm and quiet, whispered Northumberland, slipping away again. And you don't have much time. She's getting ready to leave. Foduck hurried off.
Calm and quiet,
He repeated loudly.
We can't sleep.
A voice called. Foduck looked around and saw it was Bayswater Barge, who was docked beside Brunswick Barge.
Be calm and quiet,
Foduck ordered.
we're not tired.
Said Bayswater. We're very restless, added Brunswick.
Are your bumpers out of air?
Frowned Foduck, inspecting the barges.
Are your ropes tied tightly? We want a story,
Said Brunswick.
Yes, tell us a story.
Agreed Bayswater. I'm the safety tug, frowned Foduck. I don't tell stories.
Please,
Begged Brunswick.
a story.
Pleaded Bayswater. Shh, said Foduck, alarmed. Very well, I'll tell you a story. Foduck cleared his throat and began.
Yesterday at 0900 hours, I observed that it was time for my regular oil change. So,
No, not that kind of story, interrupted Brunswick.
a real story, but not scary.
Added Bayswater. Foduck could feel the precious minutes ticking away. He knew that shy ship might be leaving soon, but he had to get those 2 barges settled down.
Well, I do know one story that Rebecca told me,
He said at last.
It's about Theodore and the 3 barges.
Oh, that sounds nice, said Bayswater. Foduck began to tell the story, and the barges snuggled closer to listen. A little later, Foduck finished his story, and they all floated happily ever after, he concluded.
Aside from the bell buoy, who required a signal light refit.
Foduck looked around. To his surprise, Brunswick and Bayswater were fast asleep. Carefully and quietly, he squeezed out from between the 2 barges. Well, that was kind of nice, he said to himself. Foduck floated around the harbor. silently retying a tow rope here, gently moving a buoy that was off a spot there. And this time, everywhere he went, instead of grumpy words and angry looks, he heard friendly snorts and satisfied smiles as he gently tucked the harbor in for the night. At last, all was calm and quiet. Finally, it was time to find the shy ship. Foduck turned towards the ship, but first he turned off all his special equipment. "Hello," Foduck called softly. "My name is Foduck." "My name is Kokoma," said the ship softly. "I hear you're worried about coming into the harbor," Foduck went on. "I guess," said Kokoma. "We have a perfect safety record," Foduck said firmly. "I mean," he corrected himself, "it's perfectly nice. It's a friendly place." "It is?" said Kokoma. "Oh, very friendly," repeated Foduck. "Will you take me in?" said Kokoma slowly. "Well," said Foduck, "I suppose I could." Foduck carefully tugged Kokoma into the harbor. "Oh, it does look nice here," said Kokoma. "There's no place nicer," said Foduck. Foduck gently moved Kokoma to her dock. "You'll be just fine here," he said. "I'm on duty all night. Just call if you need anything. That's what safety tugs are for," he added, beginning to head off. "It's kind of dark," called Kokoma. "Could you stay with me until morning?" "Well, this seems pretty quiet," said Foduck. "Please?" said the ship. "Okay." "Thank you." Foduck moved alongside. "I feel much safer now," said Kokoma. Foduck didn't say anything, but inside, he wondered, how could she feel safe? "I haven't done any of my regular safety patrol things. I didn't even blow my all-safe whistle." Later, as the sun was just peeking out over the edge of the harbor, Foduck looked around. The tugs were in their dock. The ships were in theirs. And over in the distance, he could see the barges, snoring soft little barge snores. He could hear Kokoma's engine purring beside him through his hull. And then, almost in a whisper, Foduck called, "All safe."
That story made me feel so much better. I'll be able to fall asleep in no time now. I just get my bed all cozied up here. There now. Thanks for visiting us here in the Big Harbor, and we'll see you all again next time. Good night. Now, what's another nice thought to think of? Oh, yeah.
Theodore, he's a tugboat and a friendly tugboat too. A friendly tugboat too. Oh, Theodore likes to do the things that friendly tugboats do. Pushing and a pulling in the great big harbor, in the great big world is so much fun. So many brand new things to discover. Waking with the sun, gotta get the job done. Oh, Theodore and Emily, Foduck, Hank and George, and the harbor master too.
Let's go.
Prime Star is proud to support Theodore Tugboat and all PBS programs which help children get and stay ready to learn.